What?
In that situation that happened last game, is the higher percentage play to do what you guys did and just like have a scramble drill, or just to kick it anyway?
Number one, we need to be cleaner with the full operation of it. Snap, hold, kick. Not one person out of those three guys can have success without the other. So, at that point, you're trying to minimize the damage, and there has been moments where you can extend a play. You're certainly trying to come out of that play with points. It's a situation that we practice, but obviously we just got to be cleaner on the operation, and it wasn't clean enough.
What do you make of that game in general? Like, your units have been pretty good this year. It seemed like whatever could go wrong in that game kind of went wrong for you guys. So what do you, when you went back and looked at it, what did you think and what did you make of it?
Yeah, very uncharacteristic of our group. Like you said, we have been playing good special teams throughout the majority of the year. And last game, credit to New England and Jeremy Springer. He did a good job coaching up his guys. They did a good job executing. We certainly didn't live up to our standard. And we could argue on every unit, and that's where we got to be better. I got to be better. The players got to be better. We're all in this together. When we came back and watched the tape, we all owned it. That's the beauty about having a group that's had success throughout the season, is when they see the instances on tape that aren't necessarily a reflection of what they've done throughout the entirety of the season. They're like, well, that's not our standard, and everybody's owning that. So, we certainly are going to use that game to fuel us and just get back to, what has made us great, and that's the fundamentals. That's the attitude, the effort, the enthusiasm. And after the bye week, I think our guys have responded, and we're excited for the opportunity to go against a really good special teams unit in the Commanders.
You ever see anything like what happened with Coos' attempted kick?
Yeah, I mean, it's not it doesn't happen very often, but you do see missed snaps. You do see missed holds. And sometimes there's just a variety of different outcomes when it comes to that. Sometimes the kicker sees that the ball is replaced and is able to kick through it. Sometimes they kick through it and it hits the O-lineman in the back of the head because it's not placed the proper way. Sometimes there's a fire drill where they're obviously trying to just throw the pass, and sometimes guys just dirt the ball. So it does happen. It's certainly something that we don't want to happen, and we certainly got to be cleaner in that regard. So, very, very unfortunate, but our guys are true pros and have responded the right way. Had a good day of practice yesterday. So.
Did Jamie outkick the coverage on the return touchdown?
Yeah, so I've always talked to our guys about, ball placement and depth of kick. And that saying is, true. You want to necessarily be able to match hang and distance, but at the end of the day, there's 10 other guys on the football field that need to be able to tackle. And we do want better ball placement. Jamie understands that. But we also got to be able to, win a one-on-one. That's what this game is rooted on, is winning your one-on-one matchup, having proper coverage fundamentals, not following same color, being able to get off blocks if you are engaged. So, other people got to step up when things don't necessarily go to plan with a kick direction. And I think that's across sport on any unit. Sometimes you draw it up to be perfect outside the numbers, in the middle of the field, in the alley. But what happens if it doesn't, right? And we play in a weathered game. We got to be able to adjust, and somebody's got to be able to make up for it. So certainly all 11, including myself, we got to be better in terms of that instance.
What determines from week to week if Abdul Carter is part of special teams?
He is every week. It's just the sometimes to be able to get him in the game depends on the flow, the volume of snaps, score differential. But he understands fully all our units' game plans. Obviously, he excels in rushing kicks. He has a knack for get off. He has really low pad level. He does a great job whenever we ask him to be out there, and obviously he's had success this season every time he's been out there. There's been a couple of games this season where he hasn't been out there, but it's not necessarily that he wasn't on the unit. It's just feeling the flow of the game in terms of that.
Where are you with your punting situation at this point?
Yeah, obviously Calf is going to handle all injury questions, but I know Jamie's going to do everything in his power to play. He's tough. He wants an opportunity to obviously respond after last game as well. And we signed Cam to the practice squad. He's a great veteran presence that has done it in this league. You know, he spent the majority of his time in Houston indoors, but because he's been in the league so long, you know, he's been able to visit a variety of different stadiums. So you have a guy on roster that this is what the practice squad is for. If his opportunity arises, he'll be ready for it. But other than that, you know, we're obviously going to continue to practice and get guys ready.
How's he adjusting to the room and the guys?
Cam?
Yeah.
Great. He's a great personality, true pro. I know he's had a little bit of a rough past season and a half just with injuries, but he's been able to bounce back, and he's hungry. He just wants the opportunity to be back in it, and it's good to have him in the building. He's a guy that obviously is good enough to be one of 32 punters in the league, and he's done that for a while. So, you know, I know he's excited to be here.
Has he kicked? I mean, you mentioned mostly indoors, but has he kicked in weather before? Because
Yes.
do you think there's a chance for?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was, you know, one of the things that, you know, I talked to all our guys after the bye week is, you know, we obviously got 4 games left, and 3 of 4 you can guarantee it. Let's put a stamp on it. It's going to be some bad weather, you know, whether it be really cold, whether it be windy, you know, and we just got to be the storm and weather it.
We'll take a couple more. You brought Gibson back. Obviously, the big issue with him is in fumbles.
Yep.
What have you seen there, and how do you fix that?
Yeah, so, you know, some of it's time on task, and some of it is, you know, addressing the issue, not just from the coaching perspective, but from the player as well. And he obviously owns it. He understands that he's got to take care of the ball better. You know, and we'll do everything in our power to help transform that and get him back to, you know, a very accountable returner, because he does have a really, really special skill set. You can't argue that his elusiveness, his speed could be impactful to the game. He scored in this league in big-time games. So, you know, I'm excited for X because, you know, I know he's a great person that is truly humble and wants to do everything in his power to help the team. And he understands the number one way he could help the team is by holding on to the football. So he's going to work tirelessly at it. He's going to watch tons of film at it, and we're going to work many drills every day. It's not something that we could, you know, kind of disconnect from. I think when you have ball handling issues, whether it be catch mechanics, whether it be fumbling, it's kind of a reflection of kind of staying away from the fundamentals that allow you to have success. So he's got to stay connected every single day, but we got to do a good job as coaches of bringing it to attention every single day.
We saw Amir do it. We saw Amir do it last year. What does he have to show you that, you know, he's capable of doing it again?
Oh,
this year?
full confidence in Amir. You know, I've said it before. You guys have heard me. You know, Amir is true pro. He did a great job for us last year. He would relish the opportunity to play in this game, and I know he would do a great job. Like I said, you have a guy that has scored in this league multiple times, both on punt return and kick return, and you know, kind of a fearless mindset, you know, which is awesome to have. And you know, I know he's wanted to play every single week, and that's how it should be when you're on the practice squad, especially when you've had the amount of production that he's had in the National Football League. So if he gets that opportunity, I know our guys would be very hungry to block for him, and he'd be ready to relish in that opportunity.